Afternoon, folks. Brian here. It's Thursday, March 20, 2025. I just finished watching Dr. John Campbell's video today called The Next Emergency. Something about France telling its people what they should have in the event of the next emergency. Apparently they're going to be printing some sort of pamphlet to distribute to the citizens soon, something like that. Don't know what they're talking about, the next emergency. Could be war, could be pandemic. I've done this video once before. Let's do it again. So we here in our comfortable, cozy Western civilization, with everything that we have at a fingertip, we turn on a switch, we have all the electricity we need. Turn on a valve, we have all the nice water we need, hot water. Turn up a thermostat when we're cold for our heat. All at our fingertips. Many of us don't even realize. And then all the waste, right? Try going to boot camp. You have 2 minutes to have a shower and get dressed back up in your uniform. So here's an exercise that you should try with your family. I know less than 1% of the people are actually going to do it. Turn everything off for a weekend and see how you and your kids or wife or husband can cope. Shut it all off. Don't mess around with your house electricity unless you're an electrician. On one hand. On the other hand, you should be familiar with your multi-breaker panel, each individual switch for each area in your house. You should really know that. Shut it off. You should know where your main water shutoff valve is. You should know that. Shut it off. And actually, this would be in an event of freezing temperatures. So shut it off, but open up all your faucets and taps. Drain the system. But put the plugs in your bathtubs and sink to save your water. Shut it off. Here's the traumatic one for your kids. Shut off the internet. Shut it off. Shut it all down for the weekend. And then go through your preps. How are you prepared? Live that way. Shut it off. What is your backups? How are you going to survive? Actually practice it for a weekend. How much water do you have stored up? Do you even know how much water you use? How much water do you have? Use that water storage for a weekend, for 2 days. See how fast you run out. How are you going to see in the dark? Do you have enough candles to safely use them? Do you have backup solar generators? How are you going to cook? Do you have like a camp stove? Do you have enough propane stored up? Do you know how long that little bottle is going to last? How are your kids going to cope with no internet? Shut it off. Let me show you some of my preps. I have a stack about 4 feet high of this. Now, I do know a lot of people don't know how to put this onto this. I know that. See, when you go to Walmart before the school season starts, you know, these are just like so cheap, 25 cents, right? I stack up, man. Brain needs exercise. What else are you going to do? Do a puzzle. Play some games with your family. If they're smart enough. Of course, if you're old enough, you remember this one. Read a book. Now's a good time to catch up on the Bible. Play cards. How are you going to cope? Do you have a backyard? Do you know how to make a fire? Shut it off. Shut it all off. And live that way. Well, you have to leave? Okay. Pick a destination you haven't been to before. And practice this. Oh, you don't know what it is? You've never seen one before? Oh. It's called a map book. Study it. Practice it. When something goes down, what are the chances are that your GPS, the stupid GPS in your car is going to actually work? Yeah. See, close up. It's a map book. Shut it off for a weekend. Actually live it. Now, this is short term. Everybody should be doing this. Everybody should have some backup supplies. But let's be realistic and watch almost every single prepper is not telling you. Well, first of all, everybody should have some very, very long-term storage on your water, your food, medical, soaps. There's a whole long list. But what are you going to do when you've used it all up? When things really turn south, when things really get bad, when the SHTF really hits and it's blown in your face, it's not like everything's coming back to normal. Your water supply, your food supply, your medical. Get some first aid manuals. Go through them on the weekend with your kids. Have your kids go through a first aid course. You may need them to treat you. But start off by, oh, here he goes, he's going to say it again. Shut it off safely and live it for a weekend. See how you're going to cope. This also includes shutting off the internet. Mentally, some people won't make it. Not even a single day.